Well, joining me now from Bristol is Professor Steve West, Vice-Chancellor of the University of the West of England, who chairs the university's UK Mental Health Working Group. And here in the studio, Zoe Scholes, a student who has taken a break from her degree to concentrate on her own mental health. Zoe, what do you think would help in your experience? What would have made the difference in your case?
I think that we're seeing greater awareness of mental health issues, but that just needs to be recognised as a first step. For me, I wish I'd been empowered with the knowledge around mental health issues, and I wish that services had been there that were properly funded.
I mean, we saw in that report there an idea of training staff to spot the signs of distress. Is that the kind of thing you needed, do you think?
Well, yeah, of course. I think it needs to be a cross-university effort. I think that, in my mind, it could be treated in the same way as sexual health is, in that you go to your freshers' fair, you get educated about it straight away, and that empowers you to avoid getting really unwell.
And then it's just talked about more.
Yeah, of course. It's a level of openness that lets people access treatment before it's at a fatal point, like they do with mental health issues.
Professor West, is university just too stressful?
I don't think it's too stressful, but of course we do have to recognise that we have huge diversity in our student body, and therefore we have to find ways of supporting all of them succeed and flourish whilst they're at university.
Why do you think suicide rates are going up?
I think it's multifactorial. I think there's no doubt that students are under more pressure. If we just think back a few years, probably when you were studying, you didn't have the sort of debt that our students now are carrying as they go through university. Many of them are worrying about succeeding on their courses, and many of them are worrying about employment at the end. So we have to recognise that and work with students to ensure that they really understand how to work through those issues and to flourish at university.
I mean, we keep seeing stories about university funding crises. Do you have the resources to put into this and make it a priority?
Yes, absolutely. We do have the resources to be able to support mental health and well-being, and indeed at my university we're using the Step Change framework by Universities UK to completely fundamentally review our services and to ensure we're doing the right things at the right times. And you've seen some great examples from Wolverhampton, and many other universities are doing similar.
Zoe, I mean, Professor West was saying that, you know, finance is a big factor in depression. Is that your experience?
Well, yeah, I think the knowledge that you're investing so much money adds a pressure that is really hard to deal with, especially if we're talking 18-year-olds know that they're going into £60,000 worth of debt. That's a hard thing to deal with in a calm way. It does call to question why health services aren't as funded as they could be within universities when each student is paying upwards of £9,000 a year.
And did you find that, you know, people who are stressed around you or depressed were worried about these specific things, about how they were going to deal with that?
Of course, it's a factor. I think that students are particularly susceptible to developing mental health issues. There's the financial aspect. It's a time where you're moving away from home, you're in a completely new system of education. And I think the student lifestyle can really easily obscure emerging mental health issues, and that students aren't equipped to notice when that's happening.
Professor West, isn't the truth that a lot of young people are experiencing these feelings earlier on, you know, at school? And so they're often coming to university already with a problem.
Yes, and the government Green Paper has identified 1 in 10 school children are exhibiting poor mental health. And of course, those students come through into university. We're seeing about 1 in 6 students having poor mental health as they progress through universities. And of course, we need to support them, but we can't do it on our own. We have to work with the schools, we have to work with the NHS, and we have to work within the university to make mental health and well-being everybody's business.
So what are you going to do that?
Well, what we're doing is very similar to Wolverhampton. We're offering training and support programs for staff. We're also ensuring that during freshers' fairs, students are beginning to engage. One of the things that we've identified very early on is that loneliness and the fact that students are transitioning into what